Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having an awesome day, and today's video is going to be kind of fun. So today I'm going to be ranking all of the Lunar Beauty palettes that have come out so far. So I have 6 different eyeshadow palettes from Manny MUA's brand Lunar Beauty. I'm going to rank them from like my least favorite to favorite. Yeah, let's do it that way, because I feel like we'll just build up to the best one. And these are, of course, my own personal opinions. If we disagree on anything, it's cool. It's just makeup. It's not that serious. And this all goes according to my personal taste, as well as my thoughts on, like, the formula and stuff. So let's get started. Alright guys, before we get started with today's video, I do want to give a quick shout out to my shop, theopencrypt.com, and at theopencrypt on Instagram. Everything is handmade. I've made a ton of candles, wax melts, earrings, accessories, stuff like that. If you want to check it out, I'll leave it linked down below. But let's get started with my least favorite Lunar Beauty eyeshadow palette now. So number 6 is the Strawberry Dream palette. So this came out last year, I believe. It's a really pretty packaging. I think the moon on it's really cute. And here is the inside of the palette. Oh, also the back continues with the dreamy theme. But the Strawberry Dream palette for me is just not my own personal taste. And even with it not being my own personal taste, I would probably use like the reds and the yellow, of course, and then the peachy shades and stuff. It just doesn't speak to me that well, and I do find a couple of the mattes more a little bit on the dry side. So this is not particularly my favorite one at all. It's obviously my least favorite because it's on the last, bottom of the list here. But it doesn't perform up to the standards that I would think so. Like, it performs fine. You can get a pretty look out of it. A couple of the mattes are a little bit more on the dry side, and the color choices for me just don't speak to me. And when I see this, I just think of doing like an all over one kind of color look. Match the shimmer to the matte, in the crease. And I don't see like a multi-color look when I look at this. Like, I'm sure a lot of people were like, there's tons of colors in there. But when I look at it for myself, I don't see myself doing anything really creative with it. Number 5 and number 4, okay, honestly every one of these was hard to put on the list, but 5 and 4 were like kind of tricky. So at the number 5 spot, I have the Greek Goddess palettes. So this one has beautiful packaging. I absolutely adore the Medusa on it. The issue is the packaging wears away really weirdly. And it's not just me. A lot of people have this issue. So if you can see up close on her, we have spots on her, even like on the snake and stuff, that are just like brown, where like a gray brown kind of color. They wear away. There's spots up here, spots on her face, spots on the snake, and like I don't like that. It's just wearing, the gold part of it is wearing away, and I'm very gentle with these eyeshadow palettes. Like, this is not a palette I've reached for more than a dozen times, and I'm very gentle with things. I slide them back into the slot they went in. I'm not like tossing them around. They're not like jumping in drawers, scratching, none of that. It's just the fact that these palettes are, this one is fragile. The packaging is coming off, and I don't like that. Also, for a neutral palette, like, I'm all here for a neutral palette. This one just doesn't really wow me. I mean, I feel like like the Life's a Drag palettes have better choices of neutrals than this one does. It just doesn't excite me, and the shimmers aren't like, oh my god, a metallic beautiful anything. So it's fine. Again, a little more on the dry side. It's fine, but the fact that this palette packaging is rolling away and it's gonna like eventually probably just be ugly hurts my heart. And then the color scheme is very uninspiring for me as well, even though I love a basic boring neutral palette. Number 4 is the original Life's a Drag eyeshadow palette. Now this is nice, but man, is she like thick, big, bulky. Like, comparing it to a normal size palette like the Greek Goddess, she's way thicker and she's way longer, and it's just really inconvenient to store. So yeah, and I also don't like the fact that there's this rainbow over the palette packaging. Like, it's fine, I get it, but like, it's, I don't know, I don't like showing on camera for that simple fact. But here is the inside of the original Life's a Drag palette. Disregard my terrible nails. I really like the fact that this was split half neutral, half like brights. I think that was really pretty, and the fact there's only 2 shimmers in here seems like it'll be an issue for me, but it really works out fine. I quite enjoy both of the shimmer shades. To me, the worst thing about this palette is this shade right here, Kiki. It's garbage. Okay, it's garbage. I'm sorry, I've said it every single time I talk about this palette. It's not good. He said in his original reveal video this was meant to be more of a lighter shade. I don't buy that for a second, because when he redid the Life's a Drag Facelift palette, he obviously knew that palette that shade was not up to par, and I feel like he had to release his palette and knew this was bad, so he makes some excuse for it. It's terrible. This really doesn't show up at all. I do adore the fact that they have a staple black and white matte in here, which are great for so many looks, especially drag looks, considering it's called a Life's a Drag palette. And I also quite enjoy the shades Trade and Mug. So the shades Trade and Mug are on my eyes, as well as the Legendary shimmer, even though I use the other palette for this look. But it's like, I love these two shades. They're so beautiful. I'm so glad they're in the Facelift palette too, because like, beautiful mattes. Again, we just have a really big bulky packaging here, and then this one shade's terrible. So for me, it's just not my favorite, but it's definitely not bad either. I've used it a lot. Okay, number 3 spot. This wanted to be my number 1 for the aesthetics because it's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's the love of my life as far as aesthetics go. And it is the Moonspell palette from Lunar Beauty. This could not be more my aesthetic, could not be more beautiful. It has a beautiful book type like packaging on it, has a beautiful hand and stuff in the back, and it's just like a beautiful spell book. It is absolutely so beautiful. Everything's raised on it, like it's so fancy, so gorgeous, and I can't underestimate how gorgeous it is. It's just the inside color scheme isn't my fave because I don't wear purple eyeshadow. Like, here's the inside up close. I've gotten several uses out of this palette. I really love the green shades in here. They're really pretty, but my issue is that like I feel like this shimmer, I think it's the Mary shimmer. The Mary shimmer it's darker than the mattes that go in the crease to go along with that kind of color scheme, and we don't really have anything besides this brown to go with it. So I feel like the greens need something to match it with, but she's beautiful. It's the packaging though. The packaging is what made this put so far up on the list, because honestly, if it wasn't for this beautiful packaging, I probably would rank this higher just because the quality of the shadows is amazing. But I'll never get rid of this because the aesthetics are everything, you know? Okay, top 2 now. So I guess you can, if I tell you this one, you're gonna know the top 1 for me. This was hard, but the number 2 palette is the Palettes of My Eyes. We've already talked about it. Is the Life's a Drag Facelift palette. I think it's so pretty. I like the sleek, thin packaging on it. A lot of people didn't like the faces on the packaging. I don't mind that. I think it's really cute. And overall, like, okay, so this was a better version of the original Life's a Drag palette that I already showed you. It has added shades, improved shades, and the originals as well. So all the original shades are still in here. You don't need both, obviously. The other one's been discontinued, so this is the only version you can buy right now. But if you find the other one for cheaper, I would just go ahead and buy this one. This one is so pretty. We have the Kiki shade improved by far from the last version. I told you that shade was trash. And we have some added shades. So the only thing is the fact that we have this white shimmery shade called Full Fantasy. I did use it a little bit on the middle of my lid today. It doesn't really do much for me. It's beautiful. It's glassy. As a highlighter, it would probably be stunning, but a little bit chunky. It's just that it's more of a topper. It's more of a see-through type white, so it's more like a glassy, shimmery effect. So if you're going for like a wet eye look, you could probably just put this all over the lid and be beautiful. I just wish I had a little more pigment on it, since I love a white shimmer on my lid to make my eyes look a little bit brighter and more awake and open. This one doesn't really do that for me, but I guess I could put the white down first, like the white matte down first, and then stack it. So you can do things you want to do with it. It has a good variety in here. Again, it has these shades Trade and Mug, which are so good, and I love them. And I also use the shade All Tea and Hunty. So Hunty's underneath my lower lash line. All Tea is a little bit into the crease here, like in the upper part of my crease. I just think it's really good because you can get colors, you can get neutrals, and you have a little bit of an extra shimmer. You have one extra shimmer. It is a see-through shimmer, but it is pretty. And then the metallic formula he originally had was amazing, and I'd love to see it again. I like to see it again. So this one is ranked number 2. Alright, the number 1 spot for the Lunar Beauty eyeshadow palette, drum roll, is the Eternal Eclipse eyeshadow palette. Now this looks very similar in packaging style to my least favorite, which was the Strawberry Dream. So we have this one with more of the clouds in the moon. This one was more like an aura in the moon, and it's like a rainbowy moon. But the entire packaging isn't rainbow, so I quite enjoy it. It's just a really pretty eyeshadow palette. For me, I love the packaging on this, but what makes it my favorite, I really do love the number 2 spot though, but what makes it my favorite is these are shades that I would actually use like quite often. Like, I love that there's a ton of neutrals in here. The blues aren't like blue in your face, so you know, I could wear it more often and not feel weird about it. I just love these shades. These 2 shades in particular, Summer Sky and Earthbender, these 2 shades are beautiful crease colors, especially for like darkening up the outer portion. It just looks so pretty. I love the shimmery metallics in here. We have the metallic formula, so this is Adamantium, which is shimmery. And then we have like Meteor, which has more of a duochrome effect. I just think the metallic-y shimmers in here, along with the really solid mattes, make for an amazing palette. Like this one doesn't have as much pigment on it as you can see, but it has like that chromey effect where it's several different colors, and this silver itself is just absolutely stunning. And then you have tons of neutrals too, like I can swatch this Copper Desert Sky one right here. It's just really pretty too. Like the metallics in here make this palette. The mattes are actually very buttery and soft, really easy to use, not as dry in formula as say the Strawberry Dream, even though these two, this matte and this matte, do come off a little bit dry, but easy to work with and easy to blend still. So that's why this one gets the #1 spot. The aesthetics are not as good as that Moonspell palette, but the colors are wearable for me, and I can get a beautiful grungy look, which is what I really wanted from the Lunar Beauty brand, I think. I don't know. Something about their aesthetic, like the moons and everything, makes me like, oh, please make me a celestial grungy kind of palette. And I feel like they nailed it with that one, so I'm very happy with these palettes. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking about eyeshadow palettes, something I really love to talk about. Let me know if you, like, I'm sure not everyone has all of them because it seems like a forwarding issue, but let me know what your favorite Lunar Beauty palette is, whether you have it or not, aesthetics and everything. Let me know down below what your favorite is, because I feel like I'd be interested to see what everyone else ranks things as, because I'm not just talking about quality for this, but I'm talking about, like, personal aesthetic choices too. I can't wait to see what he comes out with next, because I really love his formula, especially his metallic formula. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can check out my shop, theopencrypt.com. Everything is handmade and ready to go for you right now. So I hope to see you guys in my next video. Have an awesome and safe day out there wherever you are.